Nobody gets in my head. Got it. Yeah, got it. Got it. Take two legs on your feet. Lap on one leg. I got a news flash. The championship is won or lost in this road. Hey, how you doing? Mike Krause here, Team Shamrock. A lot of my parents ask me, what's going on out there? It's confusing. Wrestling is a confusing sport at first. How are the points scored? What's going to happen at the first match? What we're going to do here today is going to walk you through a first match. We're going to walk you through the point scoring, different scenarios on the mat, and what to say in the corner. A lot of my parents say, what do I say in the corner? Well, here we go. We're going to show you. Before the match starts, we're going to have a head table. Both wrestlers report to the head table. We've got Ken Bade here and James the member. They're going to walk up. There'll be someone sitting here, and they'll say, Ken Bade. Your name, sir?
Ken Bade.
Your name?
James the member.
Okay, I'm the referee. I'm going to say, Ken, you're going to be green. James, you're going to be red. We'll walk out to the mat. We got two anklets. We've got a green anklet and a red anklet. Both men will put the anklets on their ankles. Although my first term I put it on my wrist. But put it on their ankles. Before they start, the referee will check at the head table. Everyone's ready. All right, guys, shake hands. Step on the lines. And the match will start. And when the referee blows the whistle, both men are going for a takedown. They start on their feet first round. And Ken and James start hand fighting a little bit. And all of a sudden, Ken will get a takedown. Boom! Ken takes James down. The referee will single. 2 points takedown. The hand that's held up, the green handband, denotes Ken's green ankle band. The green wrestler gets 2 points takedown. 2 green! Takedown! For a first-year parent, it may be confusing because the takedown is not always so crisp and clean. So say, for instance, James takes a shot on Ken, and Ken down blocks and stops him. Ken circles behind him, overhooks his back ankle with his foot. Boom! That's 2 takedown right there. Ken's still to the side, but he's got 3 supporting points. He's got the ankle, he's got the hip, and he's got the shoulder, and the head, actually, the head. 2 takedown, 2 takedown green, 2 green. Another takedown here. Come here, James. On the edge of the mat, guys, right here. Say James on the edge of the mat. Supporting points. He's out of bounds. He gets both ankles, Ken. Boom! Falls out of bounds. That's 2 takedown right there. 2 green takedown. He's got supporting points. Out of bounds. Back to the center. Now we just had an out of bounds situation. Ken got a takedown on James out of bounds. And since they fell out of bounds and Ken had the control, James now starts in a down position. The referee will tell you which way to face. He's got his knees behind. This is a rectangle here. He's got his knees behind the line, his hands in front of the line. Head up, face the ref. Signal, you ready, son?
Yes.
Bottom man set, top guy on. Ken gets on, and when Ken gets on, he's got one hand on the belly, not too tight, not a tight waist. His other hand's just above the elbow, pinching the elbow. Ken's got his ear in his back, sometimes he goes with the chin. The near side knee is down, the back leg is up. Alright, since we first made the video, the rules have actually changed. Now the referee will say this. Bottom guy set. Bottom guy's in set position, top man on. Set, then the whistle. So to review it again, it's like this. Bottom man set, top man on, set, that's the proper command. Bottom man down, set, top guy on, set. In this situation right now, I'm going to blow the whistle, and James is going to give what's called an escape. He's going to hit a stand up and hit an escape. You guys ready? James stands up. I got 1 point red. 1 point red, escape. James has got away from Ken. Now there's no control. Both men are neutral, and that's 1 point escape. 1 point escape. Same scenario. We have James in a down position. Ken's on top. Referee blows whistle. James gonna hit a reversal. James switch. I've got 2 red, reversal. 2 red, reversal. Now James is gonna work Ken hard, try to break Ken down. Then try to break it down. Remember, the ultimate goal in wrestling is to put your partner or put your opponent on his back and stick him, pin him. Let's go, James, turn him. Let's go, James, work. James got a chicken wing and a barn. He's gonna wrench on Ken. He turns it, back, here we go. The referee will start doing this. Ken's on his back. The referee will start counting near fall. Here we go. Ken's green. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's almost pinned. The ref will check. When both shoulder blades are down. 1, 2. Ken's stuck. Match over. Here we go again. We've got James in down position. We've got Ken on top. The referee's going to blow the whistle. We're going to go over what's called near fall, or almost pinned, near fall. When James's back breaks the 90-degree plane, the referee will start swinging his arm. 1, he's counting seconds. 2, if the referee counts 2 seconds and James gets to his stomach, Ken will get 2 near fall. If Ken holds James on his back for a total 5 count, the referee will stop counting and he'll hold his fingers on the mat like this. He'll hold 3 fingers down. If James is off his back, the referee will signal, I have 3 near fall. Ken will now hit a tilt. Ken hit it. Ken breaks James. Ooh, nice roll through tilt. Oh, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your stomach, James. Hey, there it is. 3 near fall, green, 3 near fall, green. Same scenario, but now Ken will tilt James, get him for only a 3 count, and James will turn back to his stomach. 1, 2, 3. I've got 2 near fall. Because Ken holds James down for 3 seconds, more than 2, but less than 5, Ken gets 2 points. 2 points near fall. 2 green. Now we're going to go over different types of cautions. Caution! A caution is a false start, or say for instance, too much weight on an opponent's back, and you're allowed 2 cautions with no penalty point. Your 3rd caution is a penalty point. Right now, James is in a good stance. Say for instance, if James' hands are on top of this line, just slacking. Boom! Ready, set. I've got caution red. Hands from the line, son. Okay, here we go. Bottom guy set, top guy on. Say this is Ken, there's too much weight on him. Ken just pounces on the guy. Woof, hey-oh! Caution, green. Too much weight. Let's go, son. Start easy. Here we go. Say for instance, I blow the whistle and Ken jumps too early. Oh, caution, green. Ken jumped too soon. Say for instance, on bottom, James jumps too soon. Top guy on. Caution red. And too much weight, jumping, beating the whistle, and not lining up properly. Say for instance, Ken gets on top. A rule that sometimes enforced and sometimes not. Ken's foot is past his plane. I've got a caution green. I need your foot behind his plane, son. Say for instance, on top, Ken maybe wraps his hand too tight, gets a tight waist, cheating a little bit there. Hey, caution green, that's a tight waist. Keep it right there. Maybe sometimes right here, pinching, wrapping too tight like this. That's a caution. Just pinch above the elbow. Not too much weight on him right there. Bottom guy, hands above the line, knees below the line. Head up, here we go. 2 cautions, you're okay. 3 cautions, it's a penalty point. Now we're going to go over locked hands. Remember, the top guy is not allowed to lock his hands around his opponent's waist. A lot of times we'll chop hands, we'll cross wrist ride. Say for instance, Ken's on top, and off the whistle, he chops James and just slips off and locks his hands. Go ahead, James. Boom. The referee will signal locked hands, but it'll give the bottom guy a little chance to get a move in. So it's actually a free move for James. Most coaches yell, free move! And if James can get a point, go ahead, James, hit a switch on. Boom. Get away. I got 1 point. Oh, I got 2 reversal. 2 reversal, James, and 1 point, James. Locked hands, green. Okay, one other thing on locked hands. If the bottom man's in the bottom position, the bottom man stands up. I still have control on the top. He turns into me. There's still no escape. I'm here like this. Boom. This is locked hands. I repeat, this is locked hands. There was no change of control. I was still in the control position. The top man turns into me. I get a double leg takedown. I've locked my hands around his legs. He's on 1 knee or 2 knees. This is locked hands. I repeat, this is locked hands. That's 1 point, locked hands. Last scenario of locked hands, James hit the stand up. Kenneth lifting the knee, takes it back to the mat. He gets about a millisecond to release his hands. Ken doesn't release his hands. Oh, locked hands! You got what's called reaction time. If you hold on your hands for longer than boom, it's locked hands. Locked hands. Go ahead, James. Free move. Nice. 1 point escape and 1 point locked hands green, 1 point red. So when you return the guy to the mat, you've got about what's called reaction time. You've got about a boom, release your hands. Or it's locked hands. Another call that isn't called a lot, say for instance, Ken has James in a single leg, and James just turns and guns out of bounds as fast as Ken is fleeing the mat. Out of bounds! I got 1 point green, fleeing the mat. If the other wrestler just flees the mat, runs out of bounds, without trying to actually, keep it in bounds and score, it's fleeing the mat. 1 point green. Fleeing the mat, James. Now, the term stalling comes into play typically in the end of a match. Say, for instance, Ken's up by 2 or 3 points, and there's 30 seconds to go in the match, and James trying to take down Ken's backing out, and James chasing him. James chasing the ball out of bounds. Out of bounds, like warning, stalling green. Referee will close a close fist. Here we go again. Ken backs out. Ken's backing out. Look, stalling green, 1 point red. Go stalling, 1 point, 2 points, and then Ken, if you do stalling again, you're done, you're DQ'd. So if the one man's not trying to improve his position, he's backing up, and actually if he backs out of a little circle with no contact, that's technically stalling. Not a lot of refs call it off the bat, but if Ken backs up and does not initiate or try to actually take some shots, he'll be dinged for stalling. Stalling green. First warning, then 1 point red, 2 points red, and that's it. Shake hands, gentlemen. Give your hand. James is the winner. Ken, you stalled out. What's up? Also, there's a terminology called an optional start. If James is in down position, and if Ken signals to the referee, optional start, okay, you have optional start, bottom. Now Ken's going to do is Ken's going to put his hands on James's back. And once he does that, the referee's going to blow the whistle now. Now they wrestle. Nice. Typically when that happens, Ken's going to let James go. Sometimes guys will pounce on top of their opponents, but there's an optional start. You don't need to start on top of the hand or on the waist and on the elbow. You can go what's called optional start. Put your hands on the back and use your own technique. It's 1 point escape. Out of bounds! Red, you're down. Now for instance, on the way back to the middle, if Ken signals both men up, he's got the option to just forego the whole putting James down. He wants both men up. Okay, both men up. I've got 1 point red. Escape. Here we go, gentlemen. And now they wrestle. Now we're going to go over one of the most controversial points of wrestling is the fall. What is a fall? Well, technically the fall is when you hold a wrestler on his shoulder blades for 2 seconds. But depending on the referee, there can be a quick fall, there can be a long fall. So you got to just deal with it. Because wrestling is life. Sometimes life's not fair. Here we go, Ken's on top. He's going to turn James. Hit it. Ken breaks James down. He's going to hit him with a half Nelson or whatnot. He's going to wrench him on his back. The referee starts calling the near fall. And right now, he's on his back. Hey. The referee smacked the mat. That's pretty flat. Sometimes referees put their hands in there to see if he's pinned. He'll feel for the shoulder blades. He'll feel for it. But it's up to the referee. Let him do his job. He'll call the fall when the fall is there. It's also the referee's job to protect both wrestlers. Right now we've got James on a low single. Ken's looking in a good position here. Ken may turn his body, and if you see the knee getting a little bent, a little more. Potentially dangerous. Let's stop the match right here, hand behind the head. Let's go, man. Both men up again. If a knee's getting tweaked sideways, if the kid's arm's getting ripped off, maybe his neck's getting wrenched. Sometimes when a guy has a wrestler down like this, and he tripods him up on his head, he's wrenching like this, they'll stop that right there. Ooh, potentially dangerous. Stacking the head. Referees do a good job protecting the wrestlers. That's actually the main job. Nice job, guys. During the match, if, say for instance, Ken shoots on James, big shot Ken, boom, James falls back, stuffs his head, there's nothing going on. Say for instance, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 seconds, stalemate! Start him back up. If the action doesn't continue, stalemate, start him back up. And keep in mind, in youth wrestling, typically the matches are divided into quarters, sometimes halves. Right now we're on a full circle. High school matches are always in a full circle. So for now, we're going to talk about a full circle. So on the edge of the circle mat, right now both men are still in. If Ken starts pushing the action out of bounds, if more than half their bodies go out of bounds, out of bounds! Back to the center, gentlemen. James will be down, Ken will be on top. In college, it's a different story. Come here, guys. In college, it's a different story. One supporting point's in bounds. If Ken takes a shot, James is way out of bounds, but Ken's toe is still in. Just his one toe. They're still in bounds. In college, they're still in bounds. Keep wrestling, keep wrestling, keep wrestling. Out of bounds. Now, typically in youth wrestling, there's still 3 periods. Sometimes there's 1 minute, 2 minute, 2 minute periods. Sometimes there's 1 minute, 1.5 minute, 1.5 minute, 1.5 minute. So obviously, know what you're going into before the match starts. In high school, it's 2, 2, 2, and in college, it's 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. At the end of the first period, the referee will call it a flip disc. One side's green, one side's red. He'll flip the disc. Red's choice. Red, it's your choice. Now, typically, in youth wrestling, they get their choice. Sometimes the red guy goes on top. He only gets top or bottom. That's his only choice. But in high school, he gets a choice of being on top, being on bottom, being neutral, or deferring the choice to Ken. And then James will have his choice for the third period. Your choice, Red. He defers to Ken. Ken, your choice. Ken takes neutral. Both men neutral. On the lines, gentlemen. Nice work. And there we go. James deferred his choice second period to Ken. Ken chose neutral. Third period comes around. Now it's James's choice. James chooses top for the third period. Now the whole rationale behind deferring to the guy's second period is James might want his choice for the third period because he's going to know what the outcome's going to be. And he might want to pick down, or he may want to curtail his strategy for the third period choice. That's the whole rationale behind deferring second period. He gets his choice third period, and therefore he'll have an advantage going into the third period of what he wants to do to score points. A lot of guys pick down all the time because they feel that, obviously nobody can hold me down. And if that's the way you feel, by all means choose down. If you're wrestling against the best leg rider in the world, and you're not so good about getting off the bottom, you might want to choose neutral. If you're real good on top, you've got a great cradle, you might want to take your one chance at glory and choose top. It's all up to you. So you've got to know your son or daughter. You've got to know their strengths, their weaknesses. It doesn't hurt to scout your opponents once in a while, but for the most part, people choose down because they feel they can get away. Know your wrestler and know what you're good at. If by chance during the regulation match the score is tied 7-7, we're going to overtime. The referee doesn't need to flip the disc. Typically, it's 1 minute of sudden death. Gentlemen, get on the line. No shit. I got a caution right there. Ken Day that puts it across the plane. Step back, son. That's a caution right there too. If your foot's actually past that green line of that plane, it's technically a caution. Not a lot of refs call it, but guess what? I call it. So shake hands, guys. First takedown win, sudden death. Let's get one. Get one now. Get one. Who's gonna get one? Nice. Oh, I've got 2 takedowns. Match is over. After the match is over, we always come back to the center. And as a coach, I'm going to tell you right now, if you lose the match, do not show negative emotion to you, Ken. Want to know why? You're giving this guy the satisfaction of knowing he's got in your head. I like what I see. Shake hands, gentlemen. Nice job, James. Now we're going to do a little role-play match. We begin the match again. Ken is green ankle band. He steps on the green line. James is the red ankle band. Steps on the red line. Gentlemen, shake hands. Ref blows the whistle, backs off. The match begins. Both men battle for a takedown. Ken gets a high class, nice crackdown. I've got two takedown, green, two green. And so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa, 4. That's 4 count. 4 got 2 green near fall. Scores 4-0 Ken Bates. 4-0 Ken. Ken slaps on the cradle. Nice. Little roll through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 near fall. Green, 3 green. Scores 7-0 Ken. 7-0. Let's go, bottom man. Work hard, bottom man. James gets to his feet. One escape, red. So it's gonna work, gentlemen. Two takedown green. I've got 9-1 green. Second period. Green's choice. Green first, red. Red your choice, red takes down. Face me, red, face me. Nope, I'm sorry. That's cool. Bottom man set. Top man on. Got 9-1. One escape, red, one red. 9-2. takedown, green, 2 green. 11-1, 11-1. Let's go bottom man. I got stalling bottom, stalling bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got stopped at a penalty point. I've got 1 green, pointing the fingers, 1 green, pointing the fingers. That's right, son, you did. Let's go, you're down. I've got 10-1. 10-1 and 2 near fall. I'm sorry, that's 10, 11, 12, 12-1. Bottom man set. Top guy on. One escape, 1 red. 12, 12-3, 12-3. Bottom man set. Oh, I'm sorry, both guys up, both guys up. Twelve-three, 12-3. 2 takedown, 2 green, 2 green. 14-3, 14-3 Ken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 green, 3 green, 3 green. 17-3, 17-3. And the second period. Green, your choice. Green chooses down, score 17-3, 17-3. Right now, Ken's ahead 14 points. 1 more point for Ken, and we call it tech ball. Anytime you get ahead by 15 or more, match is over. Technical fall. Bottom man set. Top guy on. Sit. That's the match. Tech ball. On the line, guys. Shake hands. Next match. A lot of times in the youth world, we have high school kids, bless their hearts, that are being referees. They're young, they're a little inexperienced, so try not to get all over them. In the high school ranks, a lot of calls are judgment calls, and as a coach, you want to come unglued if you don't agree with them, but for the most part, let the refs ref, and don't get all over them. We're going to go through some scenarios that you should not do. Come on, man, work hard, work hard. Let's go, hand fight, get it, come on, what do you do?
Right about.
What are you talking about, out of bounds? Come on, ref. Come on. Get real. What just happened there? A, stay in your chair as a coach. Never walk on the mat. That call there was a judgment call, too. You can't get upset at judgment calls. Out of bounds, ref?
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds, out of bounds. Don't get nuts up.
Bottom man set. Top man cover. Caution. Bottom man move.
Oh, he talking top guy. Lay down, man. How pressure are you talking about? What happened right there? Judgment call again. Let the ref ref. Here we go, guys.
Bottom man set. Top man cover.
Let's go. Come on, work it, work it, work it, work it. You need, come on, work it. Work it. Get out of here, get out of here, get in. Oh, what are you talking about, you fan? You're talking about this much. It's ridiculous. Again, judgment call. Ref says he's pinned. Let the ref the match. Come on, James, come on, James. Oh, what's that? Oh, ref. One question you call. Walk to the head table. I've got a question, ref.
Yes, sir.
Did that man have my man's head in a scissors?
I didn't see.
Let's consult the book. I think a head scissors is illegal. When questioning a call, it's not a judgment call. Walk to the head table, sing to the ref. Ref will come over, and you can discuss the call. That was a scissors, ref.
Green, you block it off. That's stalling.
What is going on out there, ref? Right there, guys. Never leave your corner. Typically, corners have a tape across it. There's a reason for that. Stay in your corner. Walking on the mat is strictly prohibited. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now, James. Come on, leave it.
2 takedowns.
Whoa. As a wrestler, never talk back to the referee. That's totally unsportsmanlike conduct. Ref and left. The corner, and although they come to practice every day with their son or daughter, they still are a little hesitant because honestly this is a little bit of an intimidating sport if you've never wrestled before. So things to say in the corner, obviously go to your practices, listen to what your coaches says to the kids during practice, be it your philosophy, move your feet, hand fight, your coach may be shoot, like might be a coach that likes their kids to shoot double legs or single legs all the time. So my thing is, when you're a parent, know your son or daughter. And I'll tell you right now, sometimes the son with the mom or the dad has a little bit of a little friction, but by gosh, you're going to be in that corner. So I'm telling you right now, clap your hands. Come on, Johnny, you can do it, Johnny. If you don't want to get too technical, just clapping your hands and saying, come on, you can do it. We need a takedown. Do your thing. Come on, your style. Move your feet. We need you, just be positive. All too often I've had parents in the corner pulling this one, oh, you're not doing that, are you? Oh, come on. And I'll tell you right now, that goes nowhere. That goes nowhere with your son or daughter. It goes nowhere with their heart, with their mental strength. You've got to be positive. I'll tell my parents before the whole season starts, I don't want to have any of that. I've had several dads on my team pull that in the corner, and I'll pull them off to the side and say, you know what? You can't be in the corner anymore, or you can't be on my team. It's simple as that. Be positive, clap your hands, and when your son or daughter loses, they're not going to be in the best mood. I usually let them just go away. I don't want to see them throwing headgear. I don't want to see them pouting. So I'll tell you right now, the worst thing you can do is cry, show negative emotion, or by gosh, throw your headgear. I'll light you up. You know that. Pick it up! No one throws their headgear on my squad. I'll tell you right now, you're just showing your opponent. You're just showing your opponent, not only did you beat me physically, you just beat me mentally. And there's no way that guy or that girl is going to lose to you again. All right? So my biggest concern is do not show negative emotion. And when you're in the corner as a parent, just be positive. Be all positive. I tell you what, that'll go a long way. Don't put a lot of stress. Don't put a lot of stress on winning the match. Just go out there and do your thing, Johnny. Especially for first-year wrestlers, first, second, third-year wrestlers. They're just getting used to the game. They're just getting their swagger on. So I tell you what, be positive, clap your hands, and if you want to get in the game as a first-year parent, learn the sport. Learn the sport, learn what's going on out there. We know they're going for a takedown. We know they're trying to put them on their back and pin them. We know they're trying to get away when they're on bottom. We know if they're on their back, we're trying to get off their back. And when they have their opponent on their back, we're trying to stick them. Stick them, Johnny, stick them! Nice work! When it comes to cutting weight in youth wrestling, I vote do not cut weight. It's ridiculous. You know what? If your kid weighs 80 pounds and you're going to cut 5 pounds, I haven't done the math yet, but that's a lot of his body. That's a lot of his body percentage. I'll tell you what. If your weight class is say 80 and you weigh 81, all right, cut the soda out, cut the pop out. See how that works for you. You may lose a pound of just body fat. But I tell you what, this sport's hard enough as it is. If you're going to teach your son or daughter to cut weight at an early age, you're going to take the fun right out of it. And I'll tell you right now, they're going to burn out. The old burnout is going to be beat out. They're going to not want to wrestle. End of story. My first-year parents always ask me, what can we expect in this first tournament, Coach Krause? I tell you what, at your first tournament, it's going to seem a little chaotic. There's going to be a bunch of hundreds and hundreds of little kids running around singlets having a good time before the tournament. As you check into the tournament, it usually costs about $3 to $4 to $5 to get in. Typically, you've got to check with the tournament director before you go there, because sometimes they don't allow coolers or crock pots, which some teams love to bring. And consult with your coach or your team manager, because typically at tournaments, a team will have a campsite in the cafeteria where all their food is, and they'll have basically a home base in the stands. So it becomes a super fun camaraderie type sport, obviously. But during the tournament, you got to check your charts. Your son's obviously going to be in or daughter's going to be in a weight class and an age group. You got to find out when they're up. They'll call 5 and 6 year olds to staging, 5 or 6 year olds to staging. If your son's or daughter's 5 years old, you got to go to staging. What is staging? It's a big area where they're going to be handing out the bout sheets. The bout sheets are your son or daughter versus their opponent. You get your bout sheet, you get your little opponent, and you walk up to the tower, and they'll tell you, you'll wait. You actually wait by the tower. The tower is a guy sitting on, well, it could be a tower, or it could be just one of those big, huge mobile stairs. Mobile stairs. You'll hand the bout sheet to him. He'll pan off into the big gym. And typically they'll have, say 6 or so mats divided up into certain segments, and you'll be waiting for a mat to hold up Sometimes they have balloons per se that'll say they need a wrestler. Sometimes they have big sticks with flags on them. And once a mat holds up a big stick or a flag or signals they need a wrestler, they'll tell you, here you go, Bobby, mat 3. So you walk to mat 3, you'll put your bout sheet on mat 3, and you'll just kind of check it out. You're up next. Start warming up, Johnny. Here we go. Let's go. Start warming up. You're up next. And that's how you get to your first bout. After you win your first bout, you'll take the bout sheet. You'll probably sign the bout sheet. Check it to make sure it's right, because bless their hearts, sometimes they actually circle the wrong guy who wins. So make sure you circled your name. You got it all right. The score is right. The pins are right. Because in some tournaments, it comes down to point scoring, and you may lose a match and still be able to take first place. But you got to make sure everything's right. Sign your name, and then you go back and you hand it off the head table. Take your bout sheet, hand it off the head table, and then get ready to relax for a little bit. Sometimes you may wrestle once every 2 hours, depending on how the tournaments run. Sometimes it may go like clockwork, boom, 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 boom. Different tournaments are run differently. Bless their hearts, some aren't run so well, but hopefully the one you're at is ran well, and it should be a pleasant experience. Youth wrestling tournaments are over quicker than high school. High school back in the day, you get there crack of dawn, and sometimes you're there till 9. I don't even want to tell you, sometimes 10 at night. But in the youth, you get there 8 in the morning, you weigh in. Sometimes you weigh in at a satellite weigh-in somewhere else, maybe your school. You get there, you weigh in, and then you wrestle. You're pretty much over around 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a great day. It's a great time, because wrestling is the greatest sport there is. All right, here we are, guys. The basic concept of wrestling. Obviously, we've got 2 wrestlers, and the basic concept is to pin your opponent. Put your opponent on his back and pin him. It sounds kind of obvious, but I tell my novice wrestlers, hey, we're gonna learn a bunch of moves, we're gonna learn a bunch of technique, but just know in your heart, in your first year, you're trying to put that opponent on his back or her back and stick their shoulders to the mat. So I always tell my kids, hey, you ever wrestle in the backyard with your brother or sister? Fall back on your backyard wrestling. We're here to learn, all right? Obviously, as you develop through your years, we're gonna fine-tune our technique, but in the beginning, you just gotta understand the concept. We're starting on our feet, we're taking somebody down, put them on their back, and we're pinning them. If you're on the bottom, we're trying to get away, we're trying to get behind that person, we're trying to put them on their back, we're trying to pin them. It's all about pinning, guys. Pin to win! A lot of my parents say, I don't know if my son wants to wrestle or my daughter, aren't they going to get hurt? I know there's been a poll or been research that actually cheerleading is the most dangerous sport to play. Sure, there's injuries in wrestling, there's injuries in life, there's injuries walking down the street. But I tell you what, the referee's there for a reason, to protect your son or daughter. So if your son or daughter gets in a precarious position with the arm cranked over his or her head, or their legs getting tweaked to the outside, the referee will stop it. And by all means, I've been known to stop a match myself as a youth coach. Hey, whoa, stop them, whoa, watch the knee right there, will you? It's cool. I mean, we're all here together, we're all here for the kids. So, about the injury thing, don't sweat it. 18, 19, 20, whoa, hey guys, you caught me. What's wrestling gonna do for you? Well, I'm 40 years old, I tell you what, I can still crack off 20 pull-ups at the single snap, so I tell you what, you stick with wrestling, you keep eating right, and wrestling will do wonders for you. Wrestling on 3, 1, 2, 3, wrestling! As a youth coach, I actually like having my parents in the room, and this actually is my room, so I'll have a room full of kids here, I'll have parents all hanging out in seats right here, and I make the call. I say, listen, hey! I say, don't look at your mom or dad when you're wrestling. You know, they don't need that undue pressure. It's practice. I tell you right now, a lot of these dads, bless their hearts. Bless your heart, dad and mom. All right, it's practice. If you're going to go watch your son or daughter practice, let them practice. Let them get whooped on a little bit, all right? What chaps my butt is when the kids are freaked out because their dad's watching them. All right, you got to be positive, and it's got to be fun. All right, it's got to be fun, and I tell you what, when they get to be about the 7th or 8th grade, you can start kind of tweaking a little bit and say, hey, son, guess what? Is the fun over? Do you want to start winning? Do you want to start gearing towards the championship? Well, let's start doing the things we got to do together as a team. So I tell you what, it's a fine line stepping on dad's toes or her mom's toes for that matter. But I've been known to do it. You know what? This is my room. Your kid's here for a reason. I'm this coach. If you want to watch practice, by all means watch practice. But I don't want you coaching your son when I'm in the room here. I don't want you giving your kid dirty looks. I don't want you yelling at your kid. Hey, keep your head up out there, Johnny! He doesn't need to hear that. It's practice. We're trying to get better. Take a note. And if you are a new parent or a new wrestler to the sport of wrestling, keep in mind there are so many levels of this sport, it's ridiculous. We've got novice, we've got open youth, we've got middle school, high school elite, high school dream teams, high school world teams, we've got college world teams, Olympics, and worlds. So keep in mind, the sky's the limit. The sky truly is the limit. If you want to take a look and see what the best wrestling is all about, go on YouTube and just type in NCAA wrestling or World Champ Wrestling or any type of wrestling. Go on flowwrestling.org, FLO wrestling.org, and check out some of the best wrestling and the best wrestling coaches. You know, if you're at home and you want to know what can we do at home, you can buy yourself a slab of mat, buy a mat, and do some workouts at home. You want some drills and tips and things? Go ahead, check out flowwrestling.com or YouTube. It's all out there for you. Do some research. Be assertive. Be proactive for your son or daughter. Make it happen. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned a little bit about wrestling. I hope you have some new ideas. I hope you are focused and you understand that wrestling, I truly believe, is the greatest sport there is. If you have any further questions or concerns, you want to contact me, Mike Kraus, you can contact me via email, nxtlvlwrestling@hotmail.com. I repeat, nextlevelwrestling@hotmail.com. Again, thanks a lot, and remember, bring the heat!